They said, is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord? He said, the man that dips in the cup with me. Now, here's the thing. He knew he was going to be betrayed. He knew that he was going to be crucified, because after that he told Judas, he said, go and do quickly what you must do. Judas left that scene, and then he knew Judas was going to come back and betray him. But he sat with them and said, the one that dips in the cup with me. If I know that I'm going to experience a death like crucifixion, I'm not going to sit there and talk to nobody about the man that dipping in the cup with me. I'm Jamie. I'm going to be, oh, well, it's me. Lord, help me, Jesus. I can't take this. I'm about to be crucified. They're going to drag that nail across my skin. They're going to drag that cross across my skin. They're going to put that nail, that spear in my side. They're going to put that nail in my hand. They're going to put a crown of thorns on my head. They know that crown don't belong on me. I ain't never said I was the King of Kings. As a matter of fact, he didn't walk around saying he's the King of Kings. He said he was a resurrection and a life. Jesus said that he never said that he was God until they came looking for him. He said, are you Jesus, the Son of God? He said, I am. And they all fell face to the ground when they came looking for him. But that was after that. Before that, Jesus never proclaimed that he was who he was. He said, I and my Father are one. He said it in riddles and parables, so they could not blame him for it, because the moment they were watching and the moment that he did it, they would immediately point fingers at him and say, blasphemous, and then they would crucify him too early. Outside of time, outside of the line of time, they will crucify him far too early. And so he waited until after the Garden of Gethsemane. After the Garden of Gethsemane. And right here, the time that we're talking about, he was not there yet. He was spending time with his disciples, and this was the time for him to dip into the cup with Judas and say, the man that dips in the cup with me. Would you be sitting there thinking about someone dipping in a cup with you when if you knew that you were about to die on that tree? Ask yourself that question. I don't have a long blog to give you. I don't have a lot of anecdotes or riddles to tell. I don't have all of that. All I have for you is one question. What are you thinking about right now? As Resurrection Sunday approaches, this is Tuesday of the week before Resurrection Sunday approaches. We don't know what happened in this week, but in this time frame, what are you thinking about in this day, in this hour, in this minute? What are you thinking about right now? Are you thinking about your list of things to do? It's okay, because we all have things we have to do. But what did you do when you woke up this morning? Did you immediately think of your list? Or did you go to God and say, God, I love you and I give it all, my list and me and my life and my kids, I give us all to you. You make the list, God. You are the list, God. What are you thinking about right now? That's why the widow of Zarephath gets a pass, because death was on her mind. And the funny thing is, when we talk about the widow of Zarephath, it's a funny topic. Because the Bible says that Elijah was, after he declared that there was no rain, he went down to the brook Cherith, right? And the ravens were commanded to feed him. Remember this vlog? Remember this one right here? How does a bird feed another bird? They spit in the mouth, so he had to eat from the mouth of the bird. He ate from the mouth of that bird. They spit. They gathered the instruments, whether it be car tires. I mean, they had cars back then, but whether it be car tires, fish, all of it. They gather it all up in their mouth and they take it to their kids. So he ate like a baby bird from the mouth of a raven, a deaf bird. And when all of that dried up, the raven and the brook, when it was done, due to his commanding of the rain to leave, he commanded the rain to be gone based on what Ahab was doing. But what's important about this story is when the brook dried up and when the raven dried up, Elijah went and he was sent to go find the widow at Zarephath. He was sent to a widow. Why? Because she was affected by what Elijah did. She had a sick on his way to death son. And so in that move, in that shift, in that, we're going from the raven and the brook to the widow at Zarephath. Now, because of his edict of locking the rain up, now Elijah has to go from eating from the mouth of a bird to eating from the hand of a human. And the raven brought him the food, almost as if it was on a platter, out of the raven's mouth. That's what I hear. That's how I feel like it happened. It don't have to happen that way, but that's how I feel like it had to happen. What had happened was, it probably had to happen like that. The raven ain't got no hands. So if the raven is busy flying and fluttering over his head like a hummingbird, he uses his wings to stay up. I don't know. Maybe he's not using his wings to stay up. Maybe he's not like a hummingbird. Maybe he landed with his feet on top of Elijah's chin and then spit the food in Elijah's mouth. Either way, Elijah ate. I'm just saying. But when that was done, and when that was dried up, when that season of Raven and Brook Cherith was dried up, then Elijah got up and went to go find the widow. He went from eating from the mouth of death's bird to eating from the hand of death's woman. I don't know where that just came from. I'm sorry. I can't apologize for that. That just came. He went from eating from the mouth of death's bird, from the mouth of a raven. That's a bird known as death, right? He went from eating from the mouth of death's bird to eating from the hand of a widow that was there. Her husband had died and her son was about to die. And with that, if he hadn't got there the day that he did, when he did, she would have been dead that night as well. Death surrounded the situation. Death, the drought, the bird, and now the woman. The drought, the bird, and now the woman and her son. And he found her picking up sticks. And what he asked her was, he said, "What are you doing?" She said, no, because she didn't even know. I don't think she knew who he was. She said, "Sir, I am picking up sticks, and I have a morsel of bread, and a morsel of flour, and I'm going to make my son and I a cake so that we may eat it, and with these sticks, and so that we may die." She had given up on everything but God, who is rich in mercy. She had given up on everything but God, who commended his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, right? Even though the but God statements that Paul made have not happened yet, she still held true. And she held on to everything. She knew she had a morsel of flour in her house and she was going to make a cake so that her and her son would eat it and die. Tells me she had given up on everything except God. Why? Because even in her death, she had a plan. Even in her death, she is almost like, I'm going to write my own, if I'm going to die because God didn't send deliverance for me in a timely fashion, I'm going to write my own eulogy. And it's not going to say that I went out flipping out and crying and giving up on everything. It's going to say that my son and I ate bread and sticks and we what? We died. Sticks. Not cross. So while she's gathering these sticks, Elijah comes up to her and sees her gathering sticks, knowing what she's doing. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, I said, oh, this is one of those Adam moments, right? When God approached Adam in the garden, he said, where are you, Adam? And I immediately knew. Holy Spirit told me, he said, Jamie, he wasn't saying, where are you, Adam? Because he was looking for Adam. He was saying, where are you, Adam? Because he wanted Adam to say, God, I am not just here in these leaves. I'm not just here in my skin. I am here in my sin. He wanted to know what Adam really thought about where he was. Where are you? Are you Adam waiting for God, or Adam answering God when he asks you, where are you? Are you making leaves to cover yourself and your sin up with? Are you the widow covering up your son as he dies and you go get sticks? Where are you? If you look up, and I'm not an advocate for talking about any other books on this blog but the Bible, but if you look up Shakespeare, in Shakespearean times, when they said, wherefore, the Bible says, God said, wherefore, Adam, art thou, right? Wherefore art thou, right? So when they said wherefore, it did not mean where, right? It meant why. And so immediately when I saw wherefore, I said, oh, he wasn't asking him, where are you, Adam? He was asking him, why are you, Adam? Basically to say, why are you making the leaves to cover yourself up with? Why are you hiding from me? I am looking for you. Don't you know we eat and we talk every day at noontime? Why are you following after your wife when she tells you to eat the fruit that I told you not to eat? Why are you listening to what the serpent tells her and then following it, thinking that you will be delivered from it because you did not have direct contact with the serpent? The serpent went to Eve. He did not go to Adam. Why are you letting your wife that I gave you talk to the serpent? Because the only person that the serpent talked to was Eve. He did not talk to Adam. That should tell us something in this day and age. How to handle marriage. Do not let. You cannot let. Women are emotional creatures. Just like men are practical. Women are emotional creatures and practical in it. Men are emotional creatures and practical in it as well. But just like Adam should not have let his wife talk to the serpent, that's the same edict rings true. Eve should not have let Adam listen to her after she ate that fruit. Why would you then, Eve, tell your husband to eat and do what you are doing? Why would you? Why are you? Wherefore means why. It does not mean where. So when he came upon her and saw her picking up sticks, he didn't ask her why she's picking up sticks, because he knew why. He said, okay, go ahead and do what you said you're going to do, right? You said you're going to get some sticks. You said you're going to make some bread and some sticks. Do that. That's a good job. But then, look it up. Not his exact words, but that's basically what he said. Do that. That's a good job. I felt like he said, okay, when you make that cake, right, I want you to put some honey on it, right? So if they ain't got no honey, put some honey nut Cheerios on it, right, or something, and make it sweet, right? Because if you want to die, if you want to go out, then go out with a sweet taste in your mouth when you make that cake. Because I'm a little hungry. So here's how I want you to make it. I want you to put it, right, with some sweet butter and some, I heard about sweet butter. I don't know what that is, but I want you to just make it like just like a simple cake. I want you to put it together. I want you to put it together nice, right? Do that right. I'm telling you. Hook it up, lady. Hook it up. That's what I feel like he's saying to her. Because he literally said to her, he said, wait. He said, what are you doing? She said, I'm gathering sticks for myself and my son, and we're going to eat them, and we're going to die with this morsel of cake I have, and we're going to die. He said, wait, before you do that, can you make me a cake? Before you kill yourself, before you commit suicide, you and your son, can you make me a cake? She said, as surely as the Lord lives, I don't have anything else but this morsel of bread to put with these sticks. We are going to die. And I thought to myself, I said, wait a minute. Did she tell him about the morsel of bread before? That she was going to make before she told him about her plan? No. He said, before you do that, she said, I'm gathering sticks for me and my son will die. I checked it. He said, before you do that, can you get some sticks for me? Can you get some sticks for you and your son? You got that, right? And then make me a cake first, though. Make me a cake. A stranger come up to you off the street and ask you to make them a cake so that they can eat. That's what she told him. I don't have but a morsel of flour. I was planning on making that cake for me, myself, and my son, and these sticks, and I was going to die with him. How did she know about the timing? She didn't. Because what happens if you eat those sticks with your son and you die before he does? What happens if you drop dead while you're stick making? You make your stick juice. Sometimes we get so upset in our situations and in our predicaments that we make plans for God dealing with our lives. Sticks, not cross. This is why I'm learning, even when I pray, God, do it your way. God, have your way. You said you are the way, the truth, and the light. And so I want to walk with truth. I want to be in the light, and I want to walk on the way. God, so if I walk on the way, I'm going to do it your way. I'm going to do it your way with you. What is your plan, God? Matter of fact, you don't even have to tell me, because your plan is all about you, God. Do it your way you want to get it done, God. This has nothing to do with me. God, I am here as a servant of the Lord. I am here worshiping you, God. I need you to do it the way you are going to do it. Sticks I've been left with, but I seek out the cross. Right? So the widow at Zarephath goes inside, makes herself the cake. Makes herself the cake. He said, before you do that, can you please make me a cake? She went inside, makes herself the cake. To what? To get to him.